every day of the week. When the world comes together, united as one, sharing stories through the eyes of InView TV. Through the eyes of, through the eyes of, through the eyes of InView TV.
Hi, welcome to Down the Track. My name is Bruce Mott and I'm your host for the show. Tonight we have Pro Slammer driver Mark Hinchelwood joining us. Mark's got a lot to tell us. Obviously there's a lot happening with the sport right now, and certainly the surprise everybody sort of saw yesterday was that Mark's come out and announced that they're expanding to 2 cars. So that's fantastic news. Can't wait to talk to him. There's so much to talk about, so we're going to get straight into it.
So Mark, you just touched on that you had an accident. Can you talk us through what actually happened on that day?
Couldn't quite see, feel this arm was starting to shut down, and yeah, a bit of a nasty time. But we've come back, fairly big rehab, and 76 days in a halo brace to support my neck. And I said to my daughter, just draw me a picture, would you please? I just want you to draw a picture and show colour for emotion and just see how it comes out. So she draws this beautiful picture of this. It was a self-portrait, and she uses tears, and actually writes a girl's name, actually in the tears, because she was being bullied. Oh. And sorry, but you know, from that accident, being befriended by somebody on Facebook and learning.
We've actually got some footage of you in your car, so let's take a look.
Yeah, sure.
Mark Hinchelwood, welcome to Down the Track. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Bruce.
Some good footage there. As I said, we got lots to talk about. The recent announcement that we're back racing again with the Super Series, those 3 rounds, then the TV deal, and then you guys coming out yesterday and saying you're going to have a second car with Sam Fennick driving. That's just brilliant news. Before we get into all that, but let's just go back a little step. How did you become the driver of the AC Delco Pro Slammer? What was your journey to get to where you are today?
Okay, Bruce. So really, the fundamental basics of being a drag racer is you've got to like speed. You've got to have the need for speed. You need to have some adrenaline, because this is an adrenaline pumping action sport. It really is. How I got the drive in the AC Delco Pro Slammer, simply Fab phoned me up one day and said, "Hey, Mark, I want you to drive the car." That was basically it. Obviously, there's a big backstory to that. Fabietti Race Engines had been a supporter of my company, Motorsport Connections, for many, many years. And we had a long-term relationship. When Mark Valeri drove for Morris Fabietti, I used to fit out the passengers for the passenger ride days. So there's been a lot of help and assistance on both sides of the fence there with both Motorsport Connections, my company, and Morris Fabietti with Fabietti Race Engines. So it was a surprise shock. I literally got the phone call Actually turned him down, God's honest truth, to begin with, and then thought about it and got slapped around a little bit by my PA, Nicole Musgrave. And she said, "You phone Morris back. You want to drive that car." So, yeah, look, bittersweet deal. It's absolutely amazing. Fantastic team, fantastic crew, fantastic sponsors. Fabietti and AC Delco, obviously the Holden partnership there goes a long way. Now it's GMSV, and that continued partnership is looking like it's going to move forward as well, which is fantastic.
It looks like between you, really is a partnership. The ideas that you guys come up with as far as promoting the sport, even when you weren't racing, you come up with the Slam Chino thing where you met at cafes and all that sort of stuff. So it seems that you guys and AC Delco are really a tight-knit team, and that's really great to see. Now, the second car, Sam Fennick driving, tell us all about that. How did that come about?
Oh man, that's just an awesome, absolutely awesome deal, and the team could not be happier. So basically, in a nutshell, Fab called me one day and said, "Hey, listen, we haven't done a lot of racing. How about we try and put two cars on the track and really show AC Delco what this is all about? Who are we gonna have as a driver?" And honestly, both of us just literally looked at one another and went, "Sam Fennick, he is the man. He's a tough competitor. His last race at Sydney Dragway." Up against Paul Mahoy, the reigning champion at that time in the 400 Thunder Series. Sam ran a string of 566, 567s. He and Paul both cut good lights. Sam was a little bit in front. Paul got a little bit loose. It was one heck of a race. Everyone was in the grandstands in the pits. Sam went through the finish line, 566 to take the win, to get his Christmas tree. It was absolutely an amazing event. And then, of course, it got real bad with him completely destroying the car. Failed parachutes, and the rest is history. So Sam was left without a drive. We know he's one hell of a competitor, and as far as people are saying, "Yeah, hey, great teammate." Yeah, he's going to be a great teammate, but he's also going to be really tough to beat. Just let me tell you.
So no team orders. You're both out there to win.
Absolutely. Look, I'd be really surprised if there were team orders put in place. I mean, obviously. Championship points are on the line, but at the end of the day, Morris Fabietti and the team, they're drag racers, man. And Fab taught me early in the piece driving for him. It was actually our debut in Darwin, and I was up against Benny Bray, Benny Red Lit, and I took, I'm a sportsman racer. I'm a Group 3 sportsman racer, run modified with an altered. I decided to short shift that car down the track, and Morris Fabietti came up, and we claimed third in our debut. And Morris said to me, he said, listen, we put that car on the start line, and I want you to rev that thing up and drive it like there's no tomorrow every single time. I don't care. We need the data, and I want to go fast. So to answer your question, there's not going to be any team orders. It's going to be, boys, just go out there and wring its neck.
And are both cars identical, or is there some differences between the two?
Okay, so the car that Sam Fennick is running is actually our passenger ride car. So under the sponsorship deal that we have with AC Delco and GM and GMSV, we have the passenger ride car now, which is basically set up for prize winners, or for people that want to pay for a ride, or that want to win promotional events. So we ran the Power and the Passion last year through AC Delco. So that car is basically it's a championship winning car. It's a great car. However, it is a little old in the sense that it's 13-year history. But I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact that Morris Fabietti has got some unfinished business with that car, and he's not going to give Sam Fennick no slouch. That thing's going to go good.
I'm sure, yeah. So, I mean, what are the goals of the team? You got 3 rounds. I assume you're going to attend all 3. And what's the goals? You're out there to win rounds. You're out there to win the championship. What are the goals for the team?
Absolutely. The cars are definitely there for one reason, and that is to try and win races. And from a sponsor's point of view, you can be as flashy as you want, but at the end of the day, the sponsor wants results, and they want you to win meetings. And coming from the sportsman ranks as a kid who growing up watching the door slammers, the Victor Brays, the Zaps, and Morris Fabietti in his own right, to be on the start line now and actually to be driving these cars, is absolutely a dream come true. So I want a Christmas tree. I really want a Christmas tree.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's what you're all striving to win. So good on you for saying, well, that's what I'm there to do. Yep. And as you say, the team's there to win. Morris wants to win. He's got all the nous. He's got some good people behind him. Now he's got two great drivers. So definitely got every chance in the world to get out there and be at the front end of the whole thing. Other thing I want to talk about, the TV deal. So that seems a great announcement for the sport. Foxtel here, KO, and then there's MAV TV and the one in Canada. And yeah, what a great announcement. So what's your thoughts on that?
So from what I've read, they're talking about a 2.5-hour show. They're talking about it potentially going out to 70 million homes. That number is just staggering to me. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. From a sponsor's point of view, shucks, drag racing is one of the best kept secrets. You got 2 cars on the track. The TV cameras are going to be on one of those 2 cars. It's a phenomenal deal. From a team point of view, value supporting back to these sponsors is absolutely incredible. So it's going to be a win-win for teams, for sponsors, and even for the fans to be able to actually see what we do down under, to all you Americans out there. So, because we've got some pretty fast cars, just let me tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic for the overseas viewers, of course, and for the Australian viewers. So to be able to follow the sport on any device, whether it's KO, Foxtel, whatever the case may be, fantastic for the sport. And not only was it an announcement, but it's not an announcement saying, well, this is something happening next year. It's saying, well, this is happening in the very next event in, 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, that's brilliant. And you must be looking forward to speaking at an event in 2 weeks' time. A long time, well, you were out in the test and tune recently, but a long time since you've been in competitor mode. You must be really looking forward to getting out there in the 2nd of April and getting in the track at Willowbank.
Yeah, absolutely. So Good Friday, it's going to be, we're going to turn it on for Willowbank Raceway. We were actually joking earlier on today about, shucks, do we know the way actually up there? Because, obviously the roads have changed a little bit since, it's been a long while since we've actually taken the road trip. Most of the crew are actually opting to drive up, which is really cool. So, again, the whole Fabietti team, we actually drive up together. It's going to be really, really good. Sam's guys and Sam's actually flying in, but that's cool. It's going to be awesome to catch up with those guys. So Pro Slammer, we've got Stephen Ham, or the Haminator as I like to call him. We've got Michelle Davies. I call her the Pocket Rocket. We've got Russ Pavey, obviously Sam Finnick, and myself. So it's going to be fantastic. We really want to put on a great show. So if you're up in Queensland way, come and check out a drag race meeting. Easter weekend, Good Friday, all the fun and games start to kick off.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly be there for sure. So let's hope all the fans pile in and see drag racing live again. Now, before we go, Mark, I've got a couple of questions from Facebook I want you to answer. So recently you did your PB, 5:69 at a test and tune. Yay! Well done. Someone's asking here, now that you've done that, let's have a look at this question. You can answer that for them. The car has proven it can go into the 60s. Do you think it can go into the 50s?
Oh, far out. That's a really, really good question, Harry. Okay, so to answer your question, so I'm driving I suppose you call it the number 1 car or the brand new car. So both cars are Murray Anderson chassis. The number 2 car or the passenger ride car, actually, we thought was a little heavy, having that it's got the passenger framework and roll cage, etc. However, the new car is actually fairly heavy in the sense of it's got a bigger diff. It's got a 4-speed transmission over a 3-speed transmission. So we actually are a little bit overweight. So to answer your question, if you take weight out of a vehicle, typically they go faster. So Harry, stay tuned, watch this space. We're going to turn it on. So I'm not saying that we're going to go faster in Queensland. That Sydney track, now they've undergone and done their $11 million upgrade. I've got to tell you, that Sydney track is absolutely friggin' awesome. And what Daryl Stevens and Frank Terabay and Craig Burns on the board and Anthony Panetta are doing at the moment is absolutely on point. It's a fantastic place to race. So not just crediting Willowbank because that's a great spot, but yeah, look out.
So Harry, he didn't say yes, but he certainly didn't say no either.
Answered like a true politician.
One more here for you, Mark, and then we better go.
Oh, Graham. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I love the engagement with the fans. So drag racing, for all of you out there who are watching that haven't been to a drag race meeting, the fans can come down into the pit area, which is absolutely unheard of in some other genres of motorsport. So you can get down there. When they typically, the fans come down, they buy your merch. I love nothing more than seeing a line of kids in AC Delco, Mark Hinchelwood Pro Slammer t-shirts on the fence line. So you know what? We got to high five them. So I actually asked the guys to pull over, jump out of the car, and I actually run the quarter of a mile back, high fiving the fans along the fence line. So if you're at Sydney Dragway, folks, please get to the fence line. Check out the AC Delco Pro Slammer and check out that big high five.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for being on Down the Track tonight. The enthusiasm and the energy that I can feel from you is fantastic. You're very excited about everything. To me, you're a guy that's just excited about life. You just love living life, and it certainly comes out in your mannerism, I guess you'd say. So, look, thanks very much.
One thing I'm going to say just real quickly is because you snuck in that whole Halo deal. So our last interview, I was actually just out of the Halo 76. This interview, I've actually obviously got the Achilles tendon. Where's the camera? You can't see that. So no more interviews because every time you interview me, I'm injured.
I was going to touch on that on those things, but no, we'll keep it positive. But yeah, all good, great to talk to you. I'll see you up at Willowbank in April, and thanks again for being on the show.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody on Facebook. Love your work.
That was Mark Hinchelwood. As I said, a great guy, and he just seems to me that he just loves living life, does everything with such passion and happiness. Yes, he's had a few mishaps, and one recently in the AC Delco Pro Slammer. But, he just gets on with it, and he just is a really a great, positive person to be around. Thanks for being on the show. Look forward to catching up with you again. This is Down the Track. I'm Bruce Mott. We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.